right, everybody, welcome back to Everyday Tech Explained. Today, we're going deep on something that I'm sure has happened to pretty much everyone who streams.
Okay.
And that's reliability issues.
Yeah.
Think about it. You're super hyped for a movie,
Yeah.
a big game, whatever. You finally hit play and boom.
Oh, no.
The stream just crashes or starts buffering like crazy. And you know what? It's the worst.
The worst.
Like, talk about a mood killer, right?
Totally.
Well, it turns out this happened to a ton of people who were trying to watch the Mike Tyson-Jake Paul fight on Netflix. Yeah, you heard that right. Mike Tyson and Jake Paul on Netflix.
Wow.
So today we're going to be diving into this whole mess using a recent New York Post article about a lawsuit that was filed against Netflix over this whole fiasco.
I think what's really interesting here is that this lawsuit could potentially be a total game changer for the whole streaming industry.
In what way?
Well, it just brings up a lot of questions about what we as consumers can actually expect from these streaming services.
Right, because this wasn't some tiny little event we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Millions of people tuned in to watch Tyson fight Paul. You would think that with that many viewers, Netflix would have been prepared.
You would think.
They're not exactly a small company.
Right, and that's where our friend Ronald Blue Denton comes in. This Florida resident was one of the many people who had streaming problems during the fight.
Okay.
And he was so frustrated,
Yeah.
he actually went ahead and decided to take Netflix to court over it.
What?
Yep, filed a class action lawsuit claiming that Netflix basically broke its promise to provide a smooth, uninterrupted service. Which is, in legal terms, it's called a breach of contract.
Okay, wait. Let's pause for a sec.
Sure.
Breach of contract. For those of us who aren't, lawyers,
Of course.
what does that actually mean?
Well, essentially, it means that one party didn't hold up their end of a deal.
Oh,
In this case, Denton is arguing that Netflix didn't deliver the service that they promised when they took his money for the fight.
I gotcha.
And it gets even crazier. The lawsuit is aiming for a wild $50 million.
$50 million
Yeah.
in damages.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
That's a lot of money.
It is serious cash.
I guess that's what happens when you mess with a guy's fight night.
Right.
But in all seriousness,
Yeah.
what could a win like this mean for streaming in the future?
Well, I mean, it could definitely set a precedent. If Denton ends up winning, it might actually force these streaming platforms to start being way more transparent about what they can actually handle
Okay.
and what their limitations are.
I like that.
Yeah, imagine if they had to clearly state, hey, our service can only handle, this many viewers at the same time.
Right.
So if you're watching this massive event, you might experience some problems.
That would be really interesting to see.
Yeah, and it could also lead to, better consumer protection.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all been there.
Totally.
We've all experienced that buffering, that lag,
Yeah.
or even, a complete crash.
The spinning wheel of death.
Exactly.
Whoa, it's so frustrating.
And the thing is, you're paying for this service, right?
Exactly.
You expect it to work. Exactly.
And I think that's the bigger question here.
What's that?
Should these streaming companies be held to the same kind of reliability standards as traditional cable?
Ooh, that's a good point.
Cable definitely has its issues,
Sure.
but you rarely see a cable signal just drop out in the middle of a big game or something.
Right, during the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
That would be chaos.
And I think it's important to remember that streaming is still relatively new.
It is.
So maybe we're still kind of in that Wild West phase.
That's true.
But as more and more people are cutting the cord and relying just on streaming, these reliability issues, they need to be addressed.
Yeah, and they need to be addressed quickly.
They do.
Because just imagine if something like the Super Bowl was only available on streaming and the service crashed.
Oh, man.
People would riot.
Yeah, the stakes are just getting higher and higher.
They really are. So this has been Everyday Tech Explained. We want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on this whole situation? Have you had any streaming nightmares lately? Are you worried about the reliability of these platforms? Let us know down in the comments. And as always, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the world of technology. See you in the next one.